Good afternoon. This class that we have now is about the genitive or possessive case. It is the only case ending that we have in English now. It is used to indicate possession, and it follows the rules of pronunciation for the S of the plural inflection. So there you will have the sound S, Z, or is. So the same as you have for the plurals. As a result, the spoken form for the noun spy would be as follows. The spies were arrested, the spy's companion was a woman, and the spy's companions were women in both cases. And so here you have, in the last example, you have more than one spy. So the apostrophe is going to go after the S and not before it. It is never necessary, no, sometimes yes, it is not necessary to add another S. Okay, what this means and how and where it is written. It indicates possession. There is always something that is possessed and someone who possesses. It is written at the end of the noun with an apostrophe S. Nouns can be singular or plural. Some nouns have irregular plurals, and if this is the case, we add an S to the irregular plural. For example, men's, children's, and women's. Those are all irregular plurals. If the noun is plural, we will add an S and an apostrophe, but not another S. The second S is not necessary except in some special cases, like for example, Christian names ending in S, like Charles and James. There it is pronounced Charles's and James's if you want. If not, it can be Charles and James, but you still are using the possessive case. What nouns can take a genitive? We can use a genitive with animate nouns. For example, things that exist. We don't use the genitive with inanimate things, although some people do, but it is grammatically incorrect. So here we have the examples. The boy's cell phone isn't working means that the cell phone belongs to the boy. The baby's diaper needs changing, and here we know that the diaper belongs to the baby. You can use it with animals also, especially with animals that are your animals that you have at home. The dog's food is under the table means that the food belongs to the dog. And the lion's paw is healing well, and here also you have a paw that belongs to the lion. It can also be used with places that are full of people. For example, hospital, office, school, the name of cities or countries. There you can use the genitive also. For example, you have here the school's head is very strict with timetables, and London's streets are always difficult to drive in. Those are perfectly correct grammatically correct. The genitive is not correct with inanimate objects. It is used sometimes, but it is incorrect. You cannot say the car's door, you say the door of the car. You cannot say the table's leg, you say the leg of the table, which is correct. Depending on the meaning of the genitives, they can be grouped together as follows. You have the genitives can be classified into 5 main groups according to what they mean. You have specifying genitives that answer to the question of whose. Something belongs to someone. For example, the girl's red dress was very pretty means that the red dress belongs to the girl, and the teacher's books fell on the floor means that the books belonged to the teacher. You have classifying genitives which answer to the question of what kind of. And here we are not talking about something that belongs to someone, but something that is classified. For example, women's clothes are very expensive nowadays, and you're talking about women's clothes in general, not those of a special woman. The same as he sends his children to an expensive boys' school. There you are classifying the school and you are saying that it is a school for boys. Independent genitives refer to places or brands that we all know about, or imply some kind of ellipsis. I do my Christmas shopping at Macy's or at Harrods or whichever big store that you can think of, and there it goes with an apostrophe S, because we all know about the store. If you say the chemists will be closed until the end of the month, means that we know what chemist we are talking about. It is a shop that is special and it belongs to the chemist. If you say a bottle of Jack Daniels stood on the table, we know that Jack Daniels is a brand for a whiskey, and so there we have an apostrophe S to say that a bottle of his stood on the table, or his brand. If you say she is staying at a friend's goes with an apostrophe S, and here we are implying that it is a friend's house. Time and measure refers to what the name says. We are talking about times, we are talking about lengths of time or lengths of measure. She had a minute's hesitation before answering, and here, as we have only 1 minute, we are going to put the S at the end of the sentence and the apostrophe before it. In the next one, we had 30 minutes wait between trains, and here you have the apostrophe after the S of minutes because you have 30 minutes. And the next one, a mile's walk every day is very good for your health, and here it means that the mile goes with an apostrophe S because it is only 1 mile, and it is the walk that you should be doing. The next one is the group genitive, can be used in some post-modified noun phrases, such as the teacher of music's room is big enough for the choir, and here we are talking about the size of the room that belongs to the teacher of music. Yes, so there we have the apostrophe S at the end of music instead of teacher, which is perfectly correct. Then you have the heir apparent's name didn't figure in the document, and here you have also the name belonged to the heir apparent. They are living in someone else's house at the moment, and then you have an apostrophe S on else. See that they are modified noun phrases. They are not only one word. Okay. The double genitive is by far the most complicated. Apart from the fact that none of the genitives is used in Spanish, here we are always going to be referring to one of several. That is what you have to bear in mind and you have to understand. So the genitive here, the double genitive, is going to start with an indefinite article at the beginning of an of, and then we have an of phrase, which can introduce an owner, which must be definite and personal. And here we can use a noun or we can use a possessive adjective. So, if I say, a son of Fiona's is getting married next week, it means that Fiona has several sons, but only one is getting married. That's why we have an indefinite article at the beginning before son. You can also use possessive adjectives. So here we have, a student of hers did very well in the exam. And see that we start the sentence with a, which is an indefinite article, and then we have an of phrase with a possessive adjective. This is very important because it is, you see it quite often, it is perfectly correct, and it doesn't exist in Spanish. So when you are translating, you have to you have to try and do it correctly. If you say, a friend of mine went to live in Hungary, means that I have a lot of friends, but at this moment only one of them has gone to live in Hungary. And that's why you say a friend of mine. And there we have an indefinite article, and we have an alt phrase, and we have a possessive adjective. Okay, I hope that this has been understandable. If you have any problems, I'll put a space at the bottom of this week, at the end of this week, and there you can ask me any questions, or you can, if you have any doubts, just write to me. Don't hesitate to write to me. Okay, I wish you all the best, and goodbye for now.